So good day, everyone. Good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another Power BI session brought to you by UrBizEdge. For today's topic, we'll be having comprehensive reports using Bookmark, Field Parameter, and DAX. And our special guest for today is Vijay Perepa. Okay, so this session was being brought to you in collaboration between Enterprise DNA and UrBizEdge. So you can get more information about Enterprise DNA. They're very popular on LinkedIn and also host monthly competitions. So with our main aim of empowering Power BI users to change their world. As you all know, this session is being brought to you by UrBizEdge. I'll give a brief description about us and what we do at UrBizEdge. UrBizEdge is a registered Microsoft Excel consulting, financial modeling, business intelligence, data analysis, and enterprise solution firm in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. We specialize in helping companies and high-value professionals be on top of their business data. We are also the developer of some Microsoft tools such as the Nigerian Finance Market Analysis tool, which can be found in Microsoft Office Store. We're also the developer of Nigerian Stock Analysis Dashboard. You can also find it. And also, you all know, we're also a training company in Lagos, Nigeria. We also have a branch in Port Harcourt and Abuja. So this is our calendar table. On this 18th of August, we'll be having business intelligence and dashboard using Microsoft Power BI. On the 26th of August, we'll be having in-depth Excel training, executive dashboard, and business data analysis. And on the 1st of September, we're having business intelligence and dashboard using Microsoft Power BI. So I'll give a brief description about our special guest, Vijay. So he has over 20 years of experience in the field of finance and business automation. He has trained many participants and students from corporate and business school on Power BI, Excel, VBA, and other Microsoft Office products with over 4.5 experience. He's an active faculty in one of the premium business school in India. So no further ado, I'll hand over the session to our special guest. So I'll stop sharing my screen right about now. So I'll go back. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Over to you.
Great, guys. Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity to talk about Power BI. Yes, so Power BI is one of my favorite subject. So now let me share my screen and then let's begin. So I'm just deleting these things. I was just some old one. I mean, same topic I'll discuss. So even this also I don't want. I was trying something. So I have the data ready. Yeah. So now this is the data. So if I suggest that you need to follow the first video what I created. I mean, what I discussed in the earlier session. So in the earlier session, we discussed about the Power Query Editor and how to transform the data and how to create the schema, the data preparation for data, that kind of data preparation for relational database. And we have created multiple tables using M language. So in one of the examples, I discussed about it. So you can actually have a look at that video and you will be able to understand. Now, today we are discussing in continuation with this, how to create various DAX functions and how to create the required information based on the thought process. So let us begin with the creating a report. In today's session, I'm going to talk about the report creation. So where I'm talking about how to use DAX functions and how to use the interactive bookmarks and also how to create the report using some kind of snapshot. How to create a background first. So whenever you are creating any report, you must have a clarity what exactly you are creating. And then only you need to go with the report. And currently, if you see, I have only tables and all the tables are connected with each other. And they are already connected with different dimension table. And also I have created one date dimension. Because few things I'm going to create once, few DAX functions will be time intelligence, few DAX functions for creating the aggregations, and few DAX functions for some other purpose. So I've created this model by using the M language and I prepared the data. My data is actually a single flat file, but I converted the data into many tables. And then I have now all the tables connected with the fact table, the revenue table, and this complete data model is ready. And I've created a table which is talking about the data dimension, and this is going to be used for my time intelligence functions. So whenever I talk about any kind of analysis, you need to understand how the reports are created. While creating the reports, you need to make sure that you have the clarity about these things. Any kind of analysis, irrespective of the tool, whether you are using Power BI, Tableau, or even Excel, you are going to do these things. First, you need to create aggregations. Create aggregations. Then create segments, create filters. Finally, create the segmentation. So only these are the things you are actually going to use in any kind of analysis for that matter, whether you are using Excel or Power BI or for that matter, even Tableau. So you must have a clarity about what kind of aggregations you need to create first. And then you need to understand how to filter the data based on the requirement. So first I'm starting with aggregation. And before creating aggregation, you must have an understanding of the data. And out of that data, what kind of report you want to create. So if I look at my data, the data is actually containing the table of my students. So the students are joining in the course on a specific day, and the student name is this. And each student is spending a specific amount of time to learn a subject. And then remaining all the columns are talking about only the IDs. And then the next important thing is the other tables. For example, I have a branch table which is talking about the cost which I need to pay to the institutes where I teach the subject to the students and what kind of price I collect from the students based on the application I teach to the students. So I need to understand how to create a lookup environment. How to create a lookup between the tables to create the total revenue. So it is simple aggregation. So we are now in this example using iterators. So there are normal DAX, normal aggregators and iterators. There are two types of aggregation formulas are there. Sum, count, maximum, minimum, average. These are the regular formulas which are actually borrowed from Excel, and they are just picking up all the values in that column, and it is giving you one final aggregated value. But when you use any function which is ending with X, that is called aggregator. So those functions will iterate each and every row with respect to certain context and will give you the outcome. For example, if you have two columns like quantity and price, some function is not going to help you because some function can only handle single column. To have multiple column to be evaluated, you need to have the iterator function in Excel in Power BI. So I'm actually dealing with the measures. As a best practice, I want to keep my all aggregations or other calculations into a separate dimension, rather measure table. I'm creating a dummy table. So to create a dummy table, so you need to understand one thing called enter data. That is the dummy table will create that table. So enter data is a a command which allows you to create a dummy table using the data or without data. So let me click on that so that it will actually give me a create table option. So this is the dialog, or a command dialog where I'm just creating a table called basic measures. All measures will be calculated here. And then I'll just load it so that I have a container where I'm going to keep my all aggregations in, and then accordingly I can deal with the calculations. So now you can see that particular table is getting loaded. And now I kept it. But what report I'm going to create? So for that, you need to have a clarity first. So let me open a notepad to understand what exactly I want with regard to the report. So in the notepad, I am writing down my all requirements. Now I'm going to have two pages report. That is what my customer requirement, and first page will contain the below activities. One, I need to have the data, a chart by city, rather by city and by customer. I want to showcase revenue, cost and profit one by one, single chart, but I should be able to show either by city or by customer. So here I'm going to use the field parameters and bookmarks both. It's a combination of both. Then I want to have a chart showing, say, um, revenue by revenue, cost, profit by city, and which will have a drill through page to have the detailed information. That is what I'm writing down first, so that I'll be knowing what I'm doing. So I want another table, year on year profit comparison by city, and I want to create some speedometer chart for that comparison and other things I will talk about. So that is about my objective and my understanding about the data. So now let us create a diagram first. See, whenever you are creating a report, you must have a clarity what kind of report you want to create and create a kind of blueprint for that. For that, I'm just opening a blank PowerPoint presentation. There I will create a snapshot. That snapshot I will be adding inside my Power BI so that my data visualization is much easier. So let it open. So now you can see I'm creating certain measures. So what I want basically the aggregations first. And then I want time intelligence. That means I wanted to see year on year. So that means last year values I require. So for that, I need to make sure that I have those calculations also. For that, first of all, I need to create a background. So I'll do one thing. I'll just take a blank background. And now I want to create some speedometer chart or a gauge chart here like this. So I have one gauge chart is talking about year on year revenue comparison. And I want another gauge chart talking about year on year cost comparison and then year on year profit comparison. And I want a KPI showing profit margin. So I want a profit margin also. How to calculate profit margin, we will see. Then I want a chart which basically talks about my maybe the total revenue or maybe monthly moving average, etc. And then another chart will talk about a chart basically talking about which will actually take this chart. So a chart by city by customer. So I want to I want to have a navigation on this chart, kind of a plus and minus button. When I click on plus button, I'll get some extra 2 buttons. When I click on one button, some kind of chart will appear. When I click on another button, some kind of chart will appear. So that is what the interaction I wanted to do. So let me keep these guys little aside. Let me keep these guys also like this. And now let me make it a little smaller. And then finally, I want another chart which showcases the data by city kind of thing. Now I want city performance, or rather city performance, and I want a table containing the customer metrics. So that is what a complete picture I want to create. So before, I mean, whenever I'm going to create a report, first I try to create this kind of snapshot and make sure that the snapshot is actually understood by my end user or my customer. Then what happens? We both are in the same page and we are talking the same way. So now you see the things are coming up in a proper order. Now I'll just keep it like this and I'm going to create some slices on the top. And this is what I'm going to add into my what do you call the final report. So let me select all the graphics and I'll shape the form. I don't want any shape fill, but I want the shape outline, which is like a black one, maybe color. I'll bring it to like say black so that they're looking nice. Now I'll take a snapshot of it. So I'll take a snapshot of it and it's a kind of background snapshot. Then I am going to save it as a capture. And then I am going inside the Power BI. Then I'm capturing that. I'm going to the background, select the background and select that particular capture. And then my transparency is 0 and it's normal. I think I'll keep it 0 and it is to fit. So now you can see that chart is, I mean, the visualization can be done much faster and much easier. Now I need to talk what I want. So here and here and here and here, I want year-on-year comparison of certain elements. Since all these charts are coming, I mean, already created, my job is to just create the visualization. So sorry, the measures. So now I'm starting with the aggregations first, where I'm using the iterators. So I'll go to the basic measure and create a new measure. So since I want to place all my measures into the basic measure table, so I'm just creating a table. So where I'm talking about the measure name. Let me do one thing. Let me increase the size of it. Not required. I'll say control and yeah, so that people can see the measure. And I say total revenue. So I'm using this aggregator, sorry, the aggregator and iterator also. So this will ask me a table. In which table you want to evaluate the context? I want to get into the revenue table, comma. I want to say my duration, the number of hours spent by the student multiplied by the fees per hour. But the fees per hour is not there in the same table. It is sitting in another table. Suppose if you have this, if you have both the columns in the same table, simply write the other table column, other column name, and you are doing the like in Excel way. But here the problem is the data is sitting in another table. So suppose you do the same scenario in Excel. Suppose you have some data in one table, some data in another table, both are related. You use a VLOOKUP. Same way, we are going to use a lookup formula called related. And then that will give me the gateway to get into all the tables where from I need to select called application fees per hour. Because fees per hour is the column which will give me the revenue when I multiply with the duration column. And now this is my first aggregation is ready. Now what happens? Currently my basic measure table is showing a table icon. I'll just hide the column 1. Now you can see the basic measure table is showing a different icon. Now it is a measure table and people will understand what kind of table they're supposed to use. Now, if you share this file with somebody, they will know where are your calculations. So that is the best practice to be managed with. Now I need to create the remaining cost also. I'll say total cost equal again sum x and then revenue table because I need to aggregate the duration first and then multiply with the related column called cost per hour or RA cost. And then my second measure is done. Now I want profit and we call it as branching the measures. So I want total profit equal total revenue minus total cost and enter. Now I can see the data and I can see the total profit. So whenever you create measures, you must first clear the data formatting, because by default, any measure created will be created in a general format or a whole number format. So let me select total revenue and highlight this comma, and then I'll make it as a comma separated value. And I say no decimals. So comma separated value, no decimals, and then comma separated value, no decimals. So these are the numbers can be now shown in a proper manner, because while presenting the data, you need to make sure the data is formatted properly. Then I want profit margin. So profit margin is nothing but a division of total profit by total revenue. This gives me a percentage. So obviously margin will be always in a percentage. I need to convert into a percentage. Now I have all the four measures. Now I want to keep them into a different folder because I'm creating another bunch of formulas where I talk about the last year, that means the previous period DAX functions. So I'll just go to the relationship view. There I create one folder, display folder. I say regular functions. And then you can see there is a folder icon created, and I'll bring all these guys and just place inside the regular functions. Otherwise, I can change the name also. Drag drop will do. Otherwise, you can change the name of the function. So let me both and drag drop into the regular functions. Now you see the regular functions are coming like this. If I go to the report view, now I have regular functions separate. Now I need to create the rest of the formulas because I have created a date table with a formula, a longer formula. And this date table will help me to create the time intelligence. So to create the time intelligence, first of all, I need to know what exact requirement. I want year on year comparison at any point, maybe day, maybe month, maybe week, maybe year, or maybe quarter. So I have a separate set of time intelligence functions. There are so many time intelligence functions. There's some 25 time intelligence functions. Out of that, we are using one function, which is basically giving you the same period in the last year. So the function name will be like this. So we are now modifying the total revenue because we want from the total revenue, we require the last year revenue. So we say calculate. Calculate function modifies a value to another value. So I'll say last year revenue. Say calculate total revenue. Then what I supposed to have, because whenever you are doing a filtering, calculate actually modifies a value to another value. More or less it does the filtering. So what to filter? Total revenue. What is the context? The dates are the context, and what is the criteria is same period, whatever period I select in the last year. Suppose if I select 2017, 2017 is my period of days. So I want in the last year, same period I want. So I use a function same period last year. Whenever you are using time intelligence function, you must have one date table compulsorily. That is going to help you in a better way. Having a time intelligence within the data model is not enough. So you need to have a date dimension table, which has already been created here. There, I'm just giving blindly dates date. Whenever you are using any date function or a time intelligence function, rather time intelligence functions, dates in any formula it is coming, dates means the date table in the date column in the date table should be picked up. People have a habit of writing dates table, date dimension, and some other calendar date, so many things they write. My suggestion is the best practice, just write dates. A simple name will help everybody. And then enter. Now you have the last year revenue. But any time intelligence function subject to filter, subject to a slicer. Without that, it won't show the right amount. So let me create another measure. That is my previous cost. That means last year cost. Equal. Same thing again, I need to modify the total cost by looking at the context and criteria, dates and date. Now this is my last year cost and I want last year profit. It's again the branching of measures equal last year revenue minus last year cost. So this is the branching of measures. I think I've added an unnecessary bracket. Now I have the final formula. Again, I need to make sure that these measures are properly been formatted. So comma separated. That is the care always need to be taken to present the numbers in a proper format. Now I have my previous year numbers. Now I need to have previous year, what do you call profit margin. So I'll say last year profit margin. That is divide last year profit, comma, last year sales. If you know the basic mathematics, these formulas are very simple, nothing complicated. These are not complicated DAX functions. They are very simple DAX functions. Now you have got the percentage. Now finally, I want to know my year on year growth because I have a contextual current year revenue and I'm comparing with the previous revenue. I want to know the growth. I'll create one more formula. Here I'm writing a variable also. Along with the variable, I'm writing everything together. So I say YOY year on year growth percentage. I say variable. First, I want to find out what is the year on year growth. So YOY equal. So I need to just subtract total revenue from total cost or previous last year revenue from total revenue and whatever the balance that will be taken care. So now another variable YOY YOYG, that means YOY growth, that is nothing but YOY divide. I need to use divide function, then YOY I need to compare with last year revenue. And there is a possibility that every time last year revenue may not be there. So that time you will get a division error. To avoid the division error, I'll just replace all those such errors, if any, with 0. Then return. I've created the complete picture. Now I'm good to go. I hope I am audible, everybody, right? Yeah. So now you can see that all other
Yes.
measures are
No
created.
question.
Yeah. Now let me do one thing. Let me just finish it. Now I can see that thing is happened. Now I'll go to the relationship view. There I'll create one more display folder. So time intelligence. All time intelligence functions will be kept there, including that year on year growth. So let me bring all these guys. Inside the time intelligence. Now you have two different folders. So you can see the data in a nice way. Now you see there are two folders. One folder is time intelligence, another is regular functions. So now let us start with the visualization and then go to the next level. So for what I want is I want to show a speedometer chart which shows the value of both the fields. For that, first of all, I need to do some kind of slicers. I'll add a slicer. In the slicer from the date table, I'll add year and I'll convert into a drop down. And I keep this drop down on the top. So this is by year comparison. Same way I'll create another slicer. There I will add the quarter. And then I'll just keep this guy a little like this, like a drop down. And few more things I'm going to create in a while, but currently these are fine. Now I'm just adding my visualization. So let me select any specific year. I want to select the second year, and I want to select any specific quarter. So this will allow me to compare the 2018 quarter one with 2017 quarter one. So I'll add a gauge chart and I'll align it. That is the easiness when you create a snapshot or a blueprint. It's very easy to manage now. You see, I'm able to handle it but very easy. And then you have certain fields like values and minimum value, maximum value, etc. So basically, I need to add the value and I need to add the target value. So these two things will take care of everything. So I will be adding the value that is from my regular expressions, that is total revenue, which is contextually showing the current revenue. And from the time intelligence, I'm selecting the target, that is last year revenue. Now my chart is ready, but I need to clean it a little. So I'll select properties and then I'll go to data label off. Then I'll go back and I'll say title. Simply, it's a year-on-year revenue. No need to write too much. As a title, year-on-year revenue, people will understand. Now it is actually doing a good job. That means, I mean, not good job, it's a bad job. The reason my current revenue is more than last year revenue. So let me just bring it down a little. Yeah. And then let me do one thing. Let me go back to the general section. There I'll go to effects and I say background off and shadow on so that they look nice. Now the visual is coming up nicely, but I want one thing. When my revenue is bad, the 45 million is current period, 48 million is previous period. I don't want to show blue. I want to show red color. So I'll create one more measure within the basic measures and I say this is a conditional format. So what is the logic is if my current revenue is less than previous revenue, then I need to say, boss, you're red. So I'll create another measure. So I'll say color or I say revenue color equal if total revenue less than last year revenue, then there is a color tomato. Otherwise, I have a color light green. So these are the colors actually coming from the matplotlib colors, and also they will be used in the Java language. We are using that because these colors are supported by the JSON as well, because JSON is coming from the Java notation, JavaScript notation files. So obviously you can use them in the JavaScript also and in the Python also. Same thing you can use in Power BI as well. So I need to apply the condition. So I'll go to the properties and I say colors and I say fill color. I want the color of the gauge color. So I'll select field value because it's a field. And in the basic measures, I select the revenue color and press OK. Now you see, since my current year revenue is not better than the previous year revenue, I'm red. Suppose if I go to another quarter, let me see if I go to Q3, maybe luckily it will become green. No. So let me select 2019, maybe it will become green. It's because my 2019 Q3 is better than 2018 Q3. Same way I can add so many measures. So I'll just add it. For the interest of time, I'm just quickly adding the values and the colors. I'm not focusing here because I'm actually creating only the color in only one visual. Remaining colors I'm not considering, so don't worry about it. So here again, same thing. I need to add total revenue will be total cost and the previous revenue will be previous cost. Same way, another one. Let me select here. So this will be total cost will be profit and last year cost will be last year profit. And now you can see the data is coming. I mean, don't misunderstand these colors because I have created based on this. So I'm not touching that. Now I wanted to create one KPI visual. So anyway, yes, I don't want it. I'll add a KPI and align it to it. So I'll select this visual, go to properties, go to general, go to properties, and I see what is the height and width, 139 to 23. These also, first let me add some values, so then I can do it. So let me go to the value. Value will be my current year profit margin, and the target will be my previous year profit margin. And I want to create a KPI trend as month, that is month name. Now that KPI is coming nicely, I want to go back and I want to go to like say a title, go to general, go to title. That is, I say YOY profit margin KPI, so that people will understand what I'm talking now. Select and go to the properties and height 139 to 23. I'll come here. This also I'll change it to what 139 to 23 or 233. Yeah, 223. Now again, I'll go to the effects and then I'll just change the background off and shadow on. Now they are looking nice. So this is the way of creating a report. Now we have done with it. Now we have an information rightly. So the moment I change the evaluation, the data is coming up nicely and they're appearing nicely. Now the report is coming up very nice. Now I'm actually showing you how to use the field parameters. See what happens when I create a column chart and I add the column chart to this. Now I'll add in this in the y-axis, I will add. I'm going to add the city. And in the measures, I'm adding revenue, for example. But my customer wants not only revenue, but also he wants revenue, cost, and profit. Somebody can go mute on mute so that please, otherwise it will be distraction. So
I've
now
muted the
I'm,
person.
yeah. Any question? Okay.
I've muted the person.
Okay, thank you. So now you can see that the revenue is coming. I don't want only revenue. I want to show revenue, cost, and profit based on certain elements, certain filter context. So for that, I can actually use the field parameters. These field parameters are introduced in June 2022. But before that, I used to do a little hard work. I will give a link to you after my video where I discussed about that older procedure. But current procedure is very simple. So I want revenue, cost, profit one by one should come, not together. Separately they need to come. So there I'm just going to the modeling tab. Then I'm going to the new parameter option. So this is currently in the preview section. To activate it, you need to go to File, go to Options and Settings and Options. There you need to select the option called Preview Features. It's coming up. So in the preview feature, you need to activate field parameters. You need to check OK, and then you need to restart your machine. I mean, not machine, sorry, the Power BI desktop, the application you need to restart. Then what happens? You will get this kind of numeric range and field separately. Otherwise, you'll get only numeric range earlier. So I'm now creating a field value. So I'll select numeric and fields. Very simple. I'll give a parameter name as selection. And here from the basic measures, I will add total revenue and total cost and total profit. And I press OK. What happens when I click create? I will get a slicer first. And also in the right side, I will get a column, a table called selection. And I'll just create on it. Now you can see one slicer is getting created. Very simple. This is what is field parameters, nothing more than this. Very simple it is. Now you can see the slicer is getting created here. And this slicer is coming like total revenue, total cost, and total profit. And there is a measure. So selection, total revenue, name of whatever, and all thing. I'll do one thing. I want only the simple slicer. So I'll say revenue. I'll say cost because it is taking the measure name as it is. So I want only simple name and press OK. Now they are giving a sequence also 1, 0, 1, 2. Because revenue should come on the top, revenue cost in the second place, and profit in the third place. It's coming nicely. Now I can actually change this to a drop down. Then I can just select it and then I can go up. Now if I select revenue, I will get revenue. If I select cost, I'll select cost, profit, profit. So what I'll do is I'll select revenue and then in the chart, I will add a column chart and I'll align it to this box. Now in this, in the y-axis, I'm adding the city. And in the x-axis, I am adding the table, whatever the selection is there in that selection column. Now what happens when I select revenue, revenue, cost, cost, profit, profit? It's coming automatically. So I need to just change the properties. Go to the properties, go to general, go to effects, background off and shadow on. They look nice. And you can see the visual is coming nicely. And I can add the data labels so that I can see the numbers. And also I can add the color schema. Suppose, for example, I require some different colors. Then I'll give only the color of profit. So I'll select the chart and I select go to the properties and then I'll go to the what do you call bars. There I can see the conditional formatting. There I'll go to the rules and I say rule is based on the total profit. And where the total profit is less than 0, it should be red color and press OK. Now you see different color is coming up. So now accordingly you can see the data. Now not only the profit but revenue also it will show the red color because it is highlighting both Nagpur and Bangalore are not profitable. When you see revenue also they will showcase you are not profitable. When I select revenue, they say you are not profitable. I think I've selected everything. There is a little slowing down. So let me select revenue. So now revenue also, even the revenue also showing this thing. That means these two branches are not profitable. That way it is giving you the idea. Now I am creating some other charts. For example, I want to create two charts, and then I want to activate a button. I'll do one thing. I've created two buttons. Basically, how I've created those buttons, I'll tell you. I'm showing you now the bookmarks. So if you go to PowerPoint, and then you can go to insert. Then I can go to icons. Then you can scroll down to find out plus, minus, whatever icons you want. So I have found those icons here and I created a snapshot. Just I took this, not this plus, a round and plus is there. So you have so many icons. I've selected that and I made them as pictures. So let me do one thing. I think I don't have here. So let me go to that, select icons and then let me scroll down a little. So I can see the plus and minus. Otherwise, I'll do one thing. I'll select this and I select this and I just insert. Now you can see those buttons are added. Control X and add a new slide. In the slide, I'm just adding it. And then I'll copy this. And I'll just open the Notepad Paint. I mean, you can use so many softwares. There are several softwares are there. You can use and make them more transparent and all. But since I'm using only that white background, I'm directly using this. Just copy this here and then just align it to it because I don't want to complete only that much. Now I'll save this as into the desktop. This is OK. This is the OK button. Now I'll go back to my PowerPoint and select the no button and paste it. I'll save it as PNG only, as no button. So I have two buttons. I'll come back to Power BI and I select insert, and then I select picture or image, and then I select these two guys. Let me take one by one. I have a small button kind of thing. So I'm just keeping it somewhere like this. Same way, another image, this one, and I'll make it small. Rather, I want the same size of both. So I select these two and I'll go to general and I go to properties and I change height to 50 and width to 50 because they are squares. Yeah. Now I have two buttons. I'll align them properly. Now what is that? I need to go to the this called OK. I'll just hide it and then select, and this is no. So I'm renaming it. So let me bring it back. Now let me add a visual. So let me add a column chart, and this column chart will have revenue by application. So I'll add application to it. So I'll just go to application and bring application, and then I'll add total revenue. So this is showing revenue application, and just make it as whatever way I want. I want data labels on, and then I don't want x-axis. Then I want y-axis. Then I'll say effects, background off, shadow on. Yeah. Now I'll take exactly the same chart, Control C, Control V, and then I will align both of them. I select both of them, and then I'll go to the top format. Then I'll say align center, align middle. So they come exactly on top of each other. So I can just bring them to the inside of the chart. So they will sit exactly. Now I wanted to create a chart. So I think there is some more issue. They are actually overlapped each other. Yeah. Now here I don't want application. I want now the department. I don't want application. Now you will see some problem, but we need not worry because we are now doing something interesting. So when I click on that, I need two buttons. So I'll create one small button, insert, add, and then I'll add a button. And this is a very big button, and I'll add it. And below, I'll bring it below. There, I will go to the style, and I will be adding the text. The text will be, this is D. D means I want by department. And I'll increase the size to maybe a little bigger. Yeah. Same way I'll add another button, Control C, Control V, and I'll bring it here. This is basically style. It is revenue by application. So A. So I'll go to the text and I say A. Now I want these buttons to appear only when I click on the plus icon, or mine if I click on OK. Otherwise, that should not appear. And accordingly, these also should not appear. I need to create a screen now. So I'll go to the View tab and I select Bookmarks and Selection. Let me hide this fields and this. Now I have already created some bookmarks. I'll delete them because this is I was just making to show you, but since I'm demonstrating, I don't want them. I'll add a bookmark. So if this bookmark will do one thing. So this bookmark is called OK. That means what? When I click on OK button, I should not show the no button. So I'll say no button should not appear. And then I want this one and this one. So this is a D. This is a D shape. This is D. And this is A should appear. And the no button should disappear. And OK button only should appear. So that means what? I need to go to OK button and update it. Now, so I am going to now this another bookmark. The bookmark is no. So that means what? When I click on no, OK button should disappear. No, other way around I need to do, I think. I need to do other way around, sorry. So I'll do one thing. I am just going to OK first. When I click on OK, OK should disappear, no should appear, and I'll update it. When I click on no button, no should appear, this should disappear, and also this and this should disappear. Then I'll come to here and update. Now what happens is when I click on OK, it's coming. When I click on no, it's coming. So now let me select this and go to format and go to action on. Then this action is bookmark and bookmark is what is this button? This is the OK button. Same way, when I select no, no should appear. When I select OK, now this should appear. I select this action and action on. This is a bookmark and this is a no button thing. Now you see, I can just go to this button now, and if I press Control click, the buttons are disappearing. Control click, the buttons are appearing. Now I need to add the interaction for this. When I select D, I need to make sure that only the department should appear. When I select A, only the application should appear. I need to add another bookmark and I say department. Now when I select on department, what should appear? Only the department should appear. So I need to say total revenue by application should not appear. And also I don't want the OK button should appear. So I'm now good to go. So I'll say update. Now I'll add another bookmark. I'll say city. Then when I select on city, only city should appear. That means this department should not appear. And also OK should not appear. So I'll go to city and update. Now see the interesting thing. So if I click on this button, say control and click, that buttons are disappearing. So once a button is disappearing, what need to happen? That means when I click on no button, not only that, I need to have only one chart by default by application. So I need to update this no button again. Now let me see. When I click on right button, there are two buttons are appearing. And then also I need to showcase only one application, only by application. So let me update this as well. Yeah. Now if I click on no, only the application will appear. When I say yes, there are two are appearing. One is department application. When I click on D, I need to say Control D. I think I have not updated that button. So I need to go to action, action on. This is a D button. D button should get department. So I'll go to bookmark and select the bookmark called department. When I select city, sorry, this button, this is application, right? I think it's not city, it's application actually. I have written as city. So this is now city. Anyway, leave it, whatever it is. Now the interaction is completely coming up. You can see now. Now if I close I can't select anything. So only one chart I need to live with. If I click on yes, there are two buttons are appearing. When I click on, when I click on D, the department will appear. When I click on A, application will appear. When I click on this, again, it will go up and I come to the only application now. So that kind of interaction I can create and showcase the information. So other charts, for example, I can add quickly the table. And since I have all the information is ready, it's not a big deal for me to handle. So I'll just need to align it properly and make sure that I've added all the columns. So in the values, so from the fields, from the basic measures, I'll add total revenue. Then I'll add last year revenue. Then I'll add year-on-year growth from the time intelligence percentage. And I'll add profit margin of my current year. So it showcases the information in a nice manner. I think this year-on-year growth is still not a measure. I mean, see presentation issue, right? You need to make sure that that presentation is taken care properly. And it's not yet happened. Yeah. Now I need to add the customer. On top of them, I need to add the customer because this is the customer matrix. Still working out. So I'll go to the customer and add customer on the top of it. Now you can see by customer evaluation. The interesting part is everything is controlled by the slicers and also by this chart. Now you can add other charts very easily. So for example, I want to add a map. And that map I want to align here. And then here I'll add in the location, I'll add city. And in the values, I'll add total revenue in the bubble size. And add application as a legend so that the data will be coming as a pie chart. So I'll go to properties and I'll go to the bubbles and I increase the size to like this so that they come nicely. Again, the same thing to make the proper for formatting proper, go to the general section, go to effects and then shadow on. So they look nice. And finally, I want same thing by application. Simple, copy, paste, bring it here and align it. You need not do any hard work. This will actually show whatever the way you want. I'll remove city and I'll add application and my visualization is ready. Only thing is I need to align it properly. Now that way I have finished a complete visual. Now where I have used bookmarks, I have used conditional formatting, I have used DAX functions and also different parameters. So this way you can actually make your visual nice. Now I can simply publish it and I'll save it as webinar. I need to log in.
Yeah, you can stop sharing your screen at this point for if you're not
Okay.
comfortable. Just stop sharing your screen if you're not comfortable.
Yeah, no issues. Let me stop sharing and just log in quickly.
Okay. And also what you did now is awesome.
One sec. I think you are not seeing my screen, right?
Yes, I can see it. I can see it.
So let me type down my details and then log in. Now let me share again quickly.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. I'm there.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, that's all. I mean, anyway, the same thing I can show in the this thing. So with that, I think I can stop myself. So if any questions can be attended, and
Okay.
yeah,
Awesome. 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 This was mind blowing. I think I actually learned something about the tomato and light. I didn't use that before. I used to use the normal code color format. That's that's very interesting. So if you have any
yeah,
question, you can raise your hands up so I can make you a speaker, or you can put your question in the chat box below. So any question, any question, any question, any question? No question so far. No question so far. Any question, anyone? Okay. So if no question, Vijay, okay, someone hands is up. Okay, I can see one person hand is up. That's Olurof Femi. So Femi, I'll make you a speaker.
yeah.
Olorun Femi. Okay, sorry, Olorun Femi.
Alone for me. Yeah, alone for me.
Yeah.
You can ask a question. Yes.
So you can unmute yourself now. Olorun Femi.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. Good
Thank
evening.
you. It's been a very wonderful session. It's really amazing. Do you have this session recorded and will be shared after the class?
Yes, yes, yes. So if you check the chat box, I've dropped the link to the recording. So I'll drop it again. So the recording will be made available on our YouTube channel.
Okay, thank you.
So by this time, before the end of tomorrow, before the end of work day tomorrow, it should be available. So I'll post it again. I've sent it again. Okay. So thank you, Olorun Frame. Thank you
Sorry.
very much.
Okay, sorry, I'm unable to access the chat room. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's disabled on
Maybe
my side.
so. You just go to UrBizEdge. So go to YouTube and search for UrBizEdge. UrBizEdge on YouTube. It will be available there.
Thank you.
Okay. I feel it's some settings because it has been like that since yesterday. Okay, so Vijay, awesome section. Okay, so remember I told you about the last two questions we usually ask. So how you start your own data journey and what advice you have for people just starting out in the field of data. Is Vijay staying? Oh, I think he has left. Let me message him first on LinkedIn. Hi Vijay. So I'm messaging him on LinkedIn. Let me see what you say. But actually, the session was actually amazing. I learned a lot. Um. But Peter has actually been here for our session before. I also dropped the his old link. So if you have any questions, he asks. I can help you before he comes. If a lot of friends hands it's up, let me lower your hands. But it was an awesome section. I actually learned a lot. So I'll drop the link to his okay. Said it's in now. Just copy. So if you want to connect with him on LinkedIn, I can't see him. He said he's in. I can't see him. So you can connect with our special guest on LinkedIn. Your special. So I've sent. So if you want to connect with him, ask him question one on one and be on his network. You can always connect with him. He said he's in. He has messaged me. He responded. He said he's in. Can't find you. But he will come back. He said he's in. But any question, any question, any question. I like the part where you use the old bookmark stuff to click on that button. It's open other extra buttons and you can now click. So that's the idea of bookmark. It makes your dashboard look more interactive. And also the field parameters being like it has saved so many people the use of using complex DAX and the rest. So it has been awesome, awesome. I think he messaged me just now. Let me see. Oh. He said he can't hear anything. Okay. But if you can hear me, can you just say yes? If you can hear me, if you can hear me, can you just say yes in the chat box? Can you hear me, guys? For this program. So I think our special guest has left us. So he said he's in, but
Yes. And
I think his network. But okay,
Well,
thank you everyone.
okay. Let me just thank you for the presentation was very informative,
Yeah.
and the idea of using the PowerPoint template to build the snapshots and a lot of things that he introduced today was kind of very new to me, and
Oh.
I've actually learned a lot. Thank you
Oh.
very much.
Okay. So the idea for the PowerPoint, most times we use it for like to just give our to have like a stable kind of shape. Most times, what I use things like Figma or I use Figma of XD. So you can also use that. Just gives you a better background. So most times we use that for like just to have like most times you don't want to do like a very fancy kind of design. So most times, but the PowerPoint, I start with PowerPoint actually until I move to other tools. So PowerPoint is also very nice, very nice. If you're very comfortable with PowerPoint, then use PowerPoint. Just helps you align your work very well. So if you can have all the alignment done in PowerPoint, so when you just take it as a picture into as a background picture into your Power BI. So when you're putting your visualization, everything is well arranged. I think Miriam's answer is up. So Miriam, let me make you a speaker. So Miriam, you can speak.
Hi, good day, the
Yeah, good
evening,
day.
yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, so actually I'm a bit new to the meetup, so I just wanted to ask, is there like a platform where you meet, or like a group chat or something that you collaborate?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so we have this Telegram group chat, right? Come, I
Okay.
think Vijay is still messaging me. I'm coming. Just give me a second. He said he's not able to join. Okay, I think yeah, he's coming now. Sorry about that. I'm admitting him. Okay, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, Vijay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay. So some network glitch. Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying that everyone said that your session was awesome, that they were all good. I introduced them to new concepts of using Power BI and everything. So remember the last question I said I was going to ask you at the end of the section was how you start your own data analysis journey, and also what advice you have for people just starting out in the field of data analysis and BI in general.
So see, thing is that when you are doing the analysis in general, you must have a clarity about the data, the business. Don't focus on the tool. Don't focus on any tool. It has to be always the data and the business requirement. Many people what actually they do a mistake. They try to understand the formulas. They try to understand the DAX. They try to understand the technicality. My suggestion, don't do that. Understand the business data properly and make sure that you have you learned what is the end customer wants. Then interpret that into the proper DAX and visualization. You will be successful. So learning basic Excel is very important. You need to know the basic Excel, and you need to know the basic MIS, Management Information System. Then you will be successful in BI.
Okay, so can you try sharing us your old story? Okay, I think Miriam, can you just still speak, Miriam? Hi, Miriam, your eyes are still up. Should I make you speak?
Oh, sorry, it was just the previous question, and then I wanted to ask where I could get the recording for this class.
Yes, I'll send you. I'll drop all of that. You can check the chat, but I'll drop all of that. So Vijay, can you tell us how you started your old data journey? Like how you started your journey from scratch till you got to have your own training firm and everything.
I am actually a finance graduate. I worked almost 23 years in many companies. My total experience is 29 years. So I think 23 years I worked in various companies in the finance, domain and also as an internal auditor. And also I worked as a sales coordinator and finance coordinator. I worked with CFOs and CEOs in many organizations. And since 5 years, I'm doing my, what do you call that, consulting and freelance journey. And yeah, so actually till my 23 years of experience, I was only knowing about Excel, nothing more than that. Only Excel. I was doing a good job in Excel, but I know only Excel. But once I started my training journey, I learned Power BI because Power BI born in 2015. I started learning Power BI in 2015 itself. From there, I started learning other concepts like Azure, like concepts like Power Apps, and I do trainings on Power Platform, all Power Platform trainings, and I do training on Azure, and I give training on Excel. So this is what my interest. Then now you ask me where from I'm coming, how I learned these things. See, I love business, and I love to interact with the business, and I want to give a business insights to the people. So when you are actually dealing with the business insights, you will be able to understand the final outcome of the end user. For example, you are running a business. Why you run a business? You run a business for a profit. To get the profit, what you're supposed to do? You need to manage your expenses. You need to manage your revenue. For that, you need to do the forecasting, and you need to set up a strategy, and also you need to set up people, and also you need to set up their structure, salary structure, and their incentive schemes. You need to motivate people to get the job done. For that, you need to have an HR analysis, and you need to have an HR team. So HR team has to recruit right people for you. So if you start from one thing, you will do so many things. You got my point? So when you're starting a business, you need to first understand what is your business area. Then what kind of people you want. Then what kind of money you want. Then how to recruit them, how to manage them, and how to structurize them, how to sell your product, and how to get the revenue. So in these all areas, as a finance guy, I was looking into very detailed manner with a mathematical approach. So which actually given me a kind of understanding. Yeah, so that way I did my analytics journey. Yes, it's very simple life, but I did all these things with my own interest and passion.
Oh, awesome, awesome. That was. So I got one thing you said. You said interest and passion, which is very, very important. So I tell everyone, if you don't want to go into this data field, you have to have the interest for it and the passion for it. Also, I've already dropped our special guest on LinkedIn. Am I allowed to share your LinkedIn contacts? Because I've been sharing it all through.
Yeah, should I share my LinkedIn link?
Okay, yes. No, I will share it for them now. I'm sharing it in the comment section now.
Please.
So I'll share his LinkedIn. I've also shared his website. So he has a let me just I'll open it now. I will share my screen. Let me just share my screen so you guys can see it. So this is I hope I'm right. This is the website, right?
No, I think I can't see your screen.
Oh, you can't see it. What about now?
No, we are not able to. I'm not able to see this.
Maybe, okay, but I've put it in the I've shared it in the group chat, so you can check the group chat if you can see it there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Vijay. I hope next time I will pronounce your name very well. I'm very bad with names. Yeah. So thank you very much, and have a lovely week ahead, guys. So thank you, everyone. Bye, guys. Bye.
Sorry, please, before you go, please,
okay.
The name of the organization where I can find the YouTube link again, please.
Okay, so can you see the chats?
I can't see chat. I cannot even access chat at all. Everything you drop, I don't see it. But I can see your screen now that you are dropping something. I can't see.
You can see my screen. Okay, okay. So when you go to YouTube, right?
Yes.
Can you see my screen, right? You can still see my screen.
Yeah, but I can see more. Yes, I can see your screen. I can see stuff. I can see this. Yes.
Okay, just give me a minute. I'm opening YouTube now. When you go to YouTube, you search for UrBizEdge.
Your
business edge.
Okay, your business. Okay.
UrBizEdge. See it. This is it here. UrBizEdge. I see it.
Okay. Okay.